entertained? Are you not entertained?
Peace everybody, Sweet Science Boxing Academy. We back with another video. Alright, so we're going to start doing fantasy fight editions. I want to start making these fantasy fight videos because there's a lot of fights that potentially can happen in the world of boxing today because we having all these unusual fights happening. We got Jamel Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez. We potentially can have a Terrence Crawford versus Jamel Charlo or Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 160. And then you got people talking about Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Terrence Crawford at 147. And then you got people talking about Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Naomi Inoue at 130 or 135 or even a catchweight. So all these fights are in the realm of possibility, but more so fantasy. So let's get these fantasy fights popping off. And today we're going to be talking about a fantasy fight that I want to see happen because it can potentially happen now that my man is signed with PBC. And that is Jesse Hart versus David the Monster Benavidez. Now this will be a great fight at the super middleweight division. My man Jesse Hart, he just came back off of basically, I believe, a 2-year layoff. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years, and he just fought last weekend. He fought a guy named Elio Geraldo Troch, who he stopped in the 6th round, elevating him to a record of 29-3. Now, this fight that he just had this past weekend was at the light heavyweight division because he didn't fight in 2 years, but he's going to be coming back down to the super middleweight division at 168 because that's where all the fights at. You got David Benavidez, you got Demetrius Andrade, you got Canelo Alvarez, of course. Now you got Jamel Charlo. Potentially you got Jamal Charlo. You got David Benavidez. You got David Morrell. You got Jaime Munguia. There's a lot of players at the super middleweight division. This division is becoming real hot right now. Other than the lightweight division and the welterweight division, the super middleweight division is becoming popping. And David Benavidez and Jesse Hart will be a great fight. Like I said, Jesse Hart is 29-3 with 23 KOs. He's 34 years old and stands at a height of 6'3 with a 77.5 arm reach. He's an orthodox fighter with a 71.88% KO ratio. Now, on the other hand, you got David Benavidez, who's 27-0 with 23 KOs. He's 26 years old, stands at a height of 6'2 with a 74.5 arm reach. Now, David got an 85.19% KO ratio, and he too stands in the orthodox stance. So if you look at their records closely, take away Jesse's losses, their records is similar. Jesse is 29-3. David Benavidez is 27-0. But both of them got 23 KOs. So if you take away the extra fights that Jesse had, the records basically balance each other out, especially the power ratio. And this would be good because these two are both big punches. You got Jesse, who got the long arms and the awkward style. You got the snapping jabs. And Jesse, he hit hard. I've been in the ring with Jesse several times, working with Jesse over the years. We sparred numerous occasions down. Mind you, he's way bigger than me. Like, I was a lightweight fighter, a super featherweight fighter. So, he was basically working with me where I was going off on him. And he just an all-around good, talented fighter. I can say when he got to the upper echelon in boxing, when he started competing with like Joe Smith and Gilberto Ramirez, at that point, he was just relying on his power because he was just knocking everybody out. And if he wasn't knocking you out, he was dropping you and hurting you real bad. Like, the boy can punch. And of course, he's being trained by my trainer, the legendary man himself, the architect, Fred Jenkins. So he got the fundamentals. He just need to stay grounded and stick to the basics and stop relying on his power. But then again, you got David Benavidez, who's a person who comes forward, those fast combinations, seem to got power on both hands. And he too sort of got an awkward style. So this will be a 50-50 fight. Like I wouldn't even know who will actually win this fight if they were to announce this fight. And now Jesse Hart, he previously got signed a 3 or 4 fight deal with Al Heyman and PBC, and of course David Benavidez, he's under the PBC banner. So this can potentially happen. I wouldn't mind if I see Jesse Hart fight David Morrell, or even David Morrell fight David Benavidez. Like it can be a love triangle thing between these three. But I would love to see Jesse fight David Benavidez. If he's going to be moving back down to the super middleweight division, then this fight has to happen between them two. And it wasn't like it would be out of the realm of possibility because Jesse Hart, he's still a top contender. This is the reason why Al Heyman signed him. Al Heyman ain't signing nobody's. Jesse Hart, he's still somebody. He never got knocked out. His losses were still good losses. They were still good fights. He didn't just get dominated. Well, the Joe Smith fight was a little rough for him, but he pulled through. Joe Smith, he's a monster. And Joe Smith, he's a problem for anybody. I would like to see that fight, Joe Smith versus David Benavidez. That would be good too. But Jesse Hart, he said that he hungry, he determined to get a belt, and nothing is standing in his way. And now that he got this opportunity with Al Heyman and PBC with this 4-fight deal, then he's going to take any fight that he want. He said Al Heyman told him, "I just need you to take any fight that I offer you." So you know Al Heyman, he going to throw Jesse straight to the wolves, and Jesse with it, he want the smoke. And I don't blame him because when you look at the landscape of the super middleweight division, I don't see nobody up there that's giving Jesse Hart real tough fits other than like a Canelo Alvarez. Everybody else, it seems like it's a 50-50 fight. So we just gonna have to wait and see what's next for him. He said he might fight one more time, possibly at the end of this year, if not sometime early next year. And we'll see who he's in line for the fight because he believes that one more fight he'll be in line for one of Canelo's belts. And y'all already know that David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, and the rest of them, they all trying to hunt for those belts as well. So we gonna see who's gonna be the last man standing. But that's all I got for now, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Drop your comments down below. Make sure I hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.